My beloved child, pause for a moment in the whirlwind of busyness and listen to this very moment as if it were your last chance to hear my voice. For indeed a sacred moment is unfolding in the midst of what may seem like random chaos in the world. This is not a coincidental encounter. This is a divine invitation from eternity directed specifically to your soul among the millions crying out without hearing a reply. Today you have been chosen by me to hear this powerful whisper, a whisper capable of altering destinies, not just yours, but also those of the ones you love most deeply. I know you are weary. I see the days when you walk without strength, the nights you lie awake, burdened by weights no one else perceives. I feel the heaviness on your shoulders, the pressure in your mind, and the quiet fear that slips in during your loneliest moments. But child, it is precisely in the moments when you feel like you cannot go on that I draw nearest. Do not mistake my silence for absence. Do not let the delay convince you to doubt my love or my plan. I have seen it all, every tear shed in secret, every sigh in the night, every step you took when there was not a single ray of hope left. And because I have seen today, I respond. A shift is coming quiet as a breeze before the storm, yet carrying the force to shake the very ground beneath your feet, not to destroy you, but to reveal that in your weakness, my power is made perfect. Forces of darkness are scheming to derail you, to dim the light I have placed within you. They know that once you listen and walk in the direction of heaven's guidance, nothing can keep you from the destiny I have ordained. That is why I plead with you, listen not just with your ears, but with your heart. You are not an extra in this story. You have not been forgotten in some quiet corner of the eternal plan. You are the central figure in a journey written in the blood of the covenant. A journey no one else can take in your place. Do not let the enemy deceive you into believing you are insignificant. No, my dear one, you are the precious gem I searched for amid the ashes of the world. You are the one who carries within you a spark that came from me, light strong enough to drive out even the deepest night. I know you feel the pressure, that time seems like a relentless adversary chasing you down. But even in that urgency, I can find a small opening in your heart to reach you. You don't need to understand everything to walk with me. You only need to be willing, just a silent nod, a whispered yes from the depths of your soul. And I will do the rest. For it is not your perfection that caused me to choose you, but my unchanging love for you that has made a way for every miracle yet to unfold. You are stepping into a pivotal moment. Every step you take now is no longer just a physical action, it echoes in the spiritual realm. Each choice you make, each time you stand firm instead of falling, each time you cling to faith in the midst of doubt, you are causing ripples in the heavenly realm. You may not see it, but heaven is watching. Angels are guarding every step you take. And I, the one who called you by name, have never taken my eyes off you. So do not be quick to dismiss this word. This is not merely a message, it is an urgent plea. A signal from eternity is resonating like a divine bell within your spirit. Listen with undivided attention. Open your heart and let my words soak into you like rain into parched ground. For life does not come from what you cling to, but from what you are willing to let go of in order to receive the new thing I long to give you. Lift up your head and allow the light of my word to strengthen your soul. No matter what yesterday held, no matter how deeply your heart has been wounded, today remains an opportunity. An opportunity to begin again, to listen anew, to step into a new chapter that I, myself, am writing specifically for you. Step out from the silence of doubt and enter into the stillness of faith. For it is there in that sacred quiet that you will hear more clearly than ever before. I am calling your name, and what I am about to do will exceed anything you have ever asked for or imagined. My beloved, amidst the noise of modern life, notifications, calls, messages, and the constant soundscape that draws your attention away from the eternal, I am whispering a call. It is soft yet urgent. This call does not come like thunder from the heavens, nor is it loud like crashing waves on stone. Rather, it is like a gentle breeze passing through your spirit, whispering a truth that if you will heed, it will alter the very direction of your life. I am speaking to you about a sacred event, a divine intervention that is drawing near in your future. It will not arrive with the pomp or splendor that the world esteems, but it will mark a turning point in your soul. Those with spiritual ears will hear. Those with spiritual eyes will see. But those who reject my presence will pass it by, unaware they have missed a destined moment. You do not need to fully understand in order to enter in. In fact, faith is not born from understanding, but from surrender. And it is that surrender offered from a spirit aware of its daily need for me that opens the way into the mystery I am preparing. Perhaps you have been waiting for a miracle for a long time. Perhaps in the quiet of the night, you have asked, Lord, when will it be my turn? And now I say to you, your turn is approaching. But are you willing? Is your heart open to receive what I am about to pour out? Do not allow the disappointments of the past to hinder your steps toward the future I have already prepared. Do not let the voice of experience, though it may sound wise, become a barrier to renewed hope. For what I am about to do is not based on what you have endured, but on my unchanging love, a love not limited by time, circumstance, or your mistakes. That love is calling you to leave what is familiar to enter the place where true life and divine purpose begin. Do you know there are moments in heavenly history where time and eternity touch, rare moments when I unveil a portion of my grand design and place it into the hands of a faithful soul? You are now standing at the threshold of such a moment. A new path is opening before you, not based on your personal efforts, but on trust and obedience. For there are things that cannot be achieved through human strength, but can only be entered into through complete surrender. I see within you a heart that has endured much pain yet has not ceased to hope, a soul that has grown weary yet has not fully surrendered. It is precisely this that makes you precious in my sight. The world may measure worth through achievements, status, and influence, but I look upon what human eyes cannot perceive: faithfulness in the smallest things, perseverance through the drought, and the flickering light that still tries to shine through prolonged darkness. My child, there are those whom I have entrusted to you. They do not know that their lives will be transformed, simply because you chose to listen and obey. They have no idea that a single prayer from your lips, spoken from a hidden place soaked in tears and trust, will be the key that unlocks the door of salvation for their soul. You were not only called to endure, you were called to lead others into freedom. You are not merely a survivor of the storm. You are the bearer of light in the night, the one who stands at the crossroads to guide lost souls back to the way. Therefore, you must not treat this word as a passing message. This is not a fleeting comfort or a momentary encouragement. This is a beginning, a trumpet blast calling you to battle, not with weapons of this world, but with awakening discernment and the courage that comes from the Holy Spirit. My child, the battle has begun, but I have not called you to face it alone. I go before you. I stand with you in the midst of the battlefield, and I remain behind you to guard against every unexpected strike. So begin to prepare, not by rushing to do something grand, but by resting quietly in my presence, listening to every word I speak, every subtle instruction I whisper in the silence. It is in that stillness that you will hear my voice most clearly. And when my voice resounds, you will know that everything you once feared is fading away, not because the circumstances instantly change, but because my presence changes you. And once you are changed, the world around you will no longer remain the same. In those moments that seem the most silent, when all voices have gone quiet, when you no longer know how to pray or even what to hope for, it is precisely there in the deepest hush that I am speaking. Not with a thunderous sound, but with a presence that cannot be denied. Not with logic that can be analyzed, but with a silent yet powerful touch that reaches the deepest part of your soul. My child, the silence you are experiencing is not abandonment. It is a sacred moment where I am orchestrating something far greater than what noise could ever protect. I know there were times when you cried, and no one knew. When you lifted your eyes and asked, Lord, are you listening? And I heard missing not a single word. Yet there were moments when I chose silence, not because I turned away, but because I was paving the way for something far beyond what you were asking. Delay is not denial, it is preparation. You are in the midst of a transformation, a moment marked in sacred history where I am reshaping you, sharpening your soul so that you will not only receive the miracle, but have the strength to hold it when it comes. There are things I could not reveal sooner because if they arrived too early, they would harm you rather than bless you. But today, as you listen with a tender heart and spiritual ears wide open, I speak to you. The time has come. This is the season when what was hidden will be brought to light, Promises that seemed long asleep will be awakened. Dreams that felt dead will be revived by my very breath. But to step into that, you must cling to something more precious than the miracle itself, discernment. There will be voices that come clothed in the appearance of advice, wrapped in the guise of concern, yet carrying within them the seeds of doubt. You must learn to discern which voice is mine and which ones are deceptive snares in disguise. I am not leaving you alone on this path of discernment. My Holy Spirit will be the compass within your heart. He will remind you, warn you, and guide you along the narrow yet steadfast way. Do not follow fleeting allurements. Do not be drawn to what merely appears convenient. Seek the imprint of my hand in all things. And you will know this: I never lead you where my grace will not cover you. My child, in the days to come there will be trials. You may already sense a stirring within your soul, a strange wind blowing as if announcing that something is approaching. And yes, something is about to unfold. But do not be afraid. Do not fix your eyes on the circumstances and forget the one who governs every circumstance. I have already provided everything you need to stand firm, not by your own strength, but by a supernatural strength that flows from the intimate connection between me and you. That is a cord that no force can sever as long as you hold fast to your faith and continue to return to me in every situation. Remember, you are not the first to walk through the valley of testing. The saints before you have walked through darkness too, and it was in that very darkness that they saw my light shine brighter than ever before. Like Moses in the wilderness, like David in the cave, like Joseph in the prison, every trial became the prelude to the revelation of my glory. And you, my beloved child, are in the midst of that same divine storyline. Do not fear when you cannot see the ending, for I am the author. And when I write, every sentence holds meaning and every detail has purpose. There is a deeper reason why I have called you out from the crowd to speak this to you alone. It is not because you are more special than others, but because you are willing to listen. In a world full of distractions, it is rare to find a soul that pauses to hear every word I speak. And because you are listening, I will speak. Because your heart is open, I will fill it. Because you are waiting, I will come, not according to your timeline, but according to my perfect timing, a moment when everything will be made clear. Be courageous. Walk each day with the certainty that you are not forgotten in the sweeping currents of destiny. You are being lifted not because you elevate yourself, but because I am raising you from the lowest place, so that you may stand on the highest ground I have appointed for you. Do not be alarmed when everything seems to be shaking. I am cleansing, clearing, and removing what does not belong to you, so that you may fully receive what truly does in my kingdom. My beloved child, stay awake and alert, for a pivotal moment is drawing near. A moment in which that which has long been hidden in the shadows will begin to surface. This is a season that not only requires faith, but also demands a keen discernment from deep within your spirit. I have come to speak to you plainly. There is a spiritual shift taking place all around you, and you cannot afford to live as though everything remains unchanged. You are entering a time when every choice, every response, even your silence carries weight that echoes into eternity. A danger is forming, not one that reveals itself in terrifying shapes, but one that arrives in silence, in distraction, and in the counterfeit of light. Things that appear harmless will come into your view. Relationships that seem ordinary will become tools of manipulation. Words that sound sweet will be traps laid for your soul. That is why I speak to you today, not to instill fear, but to equip you. Not with arguments, but with the living word from heaven, so that you may see through what cannot be perceived with human eyes. You cannot enter tomorrow with the carelessness of today. I am calling you to awaken from every form of spiritual slumber. I have seen the snares the enemy has laid. They are not new, but they are increasingly disguised with cunning precision. I need you to understand, not everything that is good comes from me. Not every door that opens has been prepared by my hand. There are doors that lead to misdirection, even though they appear favorable. There are sweet voices that carry no life. There are offers that seem to be answers to your prayers, but are in fact bait for a silent destruction. I say to you, do not move forward if you have not found the perfect peace that rises from the deepest place within me. Do not make decisions based on urgency, for choices birthed from anxiety often open the door to confusion. I never push through fear. My voice always carries peace, even when it leads you down a difficult road, and I will not abandon you on that journey. If I call you to go, I will go with you. If I lead you into a place of testing, it is there that my presence will become more powerful than ever before. In the days to come, you will feel an invisible pressure as if everything is pressing you against a wall. But know this, that pressure does not come to crush you, but to propel you forward. It is like the pain of labor, a signal that something new is about to be born. And you cannot bring forth what I have placed within you without walking through that path of pain. Yet this pain is not in vain. It is preparation for the revealing. It is a reminder that you are no longer in the old season. You are drawing nearer to the promise I set upon your life before the foundations of the world. You will need steadfastness in the days ahead, not a cold hardness, but a strength rooted in trust in the one who never changes. You will be tested. The things that once brought you comfort may no longer soothe you. The old ways of getting through may no longer work. But this is where you will learn I am the one who makes all things new. I do not repeat miracles in the same manner. Each season carries its own unique unveiling of my glory. And I am inviting you into a new season, not with old methods, but with complete trust. My child, do not fear the changes that are coming. They may overwhelm you, but they are not outside of my control. On the contrary, I am using even the things that seem random to fulfill my divine purpose for you. Keep your heart tender. Keep your ears sensitive to my voice, and keep your eyes fixed on me, even when the storm sweeps away every other point of reference around you. For it is in the storm that I will speak more clearly than ever before. It is in the shaking that I will show you what cannot be shaken. You are not alone. There is an invisible army surrounding you. Angels have been sent not only to protect you, but to uphold you, to propel you forward and to bear witness to what is being accomplished within your soul. When you pray, the heavens move. When you obey, the kingdom trembles. And when you believe, even in the dark, the light will rise, not from the outside, but from the deepest part of who you are, the place where I dwell. My beloved, in this very hour, I am calling you to be a watchman, a soul that does not slumber under the artificial lights of this world, but remains awake in the darkness by the light of revelation. You are not only called to listen, but to rise to guard what I have entrusted to you, and to become a lamp that never goes out, even when the winds howl and the rains pour. This is the time when every soul called by my name must return to their rightful position. No vacancies, no wavering, no delay. My child, there is a spiritual position that only you can occupy. No one else can stand in that place on your behalf. No one can replace the prayers from your own lips, or take the steps you are called to take, or open the doors that were meant for you to open. You are not a random piece in my grand design. You are an irreplaceable part of the heavenly structure that is being built, a structure that without your faithful contribution would leave other souls waiting longer for their redemption, their freedom, and their healing. Dear one, I see clearly how weariness has crept into your spirit. I know the days when you've asked yourself if anything you do really matters, whether your prayers reach heaven or simply vanish into thin air. But child, every word you've spoken, every tear you've cried, every sigh you've offered to me, as an honest sacrifice is being gathered on the sacred altar. Not a single act done for me is wasted. Not a single sacrifice made in my name is forgotten. In heaven, everything you have done in obedience is building an eternal legacy. The world may not see it. Those around you may not recognize it. But I, the one who searches every hidden thing, have engraved every moment of your faithfulness into the palm of my hand. You think you are waiting for a miracle, but in truth, I am waiting for you to recognize this. You are the miracle I have sent to a world thirsting for hope. When you rise, when you choose to live by faith rather than fear, you become the beam of light piercing through the thick darkness that surrounds the souls of others. My beloved child, look back on the path you have walked. Remember the times I shielded you from dangers you didn't even know existed. Remember the moments when you thought you wouldn't make it, yet you remained standing. That was no coincidence. It was a sign that you have been surrounded by my protective power. And that same protection will continue with you in the journey ahead, for you were not born to stop here. You were born to go further, to climb higher, to open greater gates, and to break not only your own chains, but the chains of many others who are watching you, seeking faith through your life. In this era where falsehood is celebrated and truth is obscured, I am calling you to be one who dares to speak, dares to live, and dares to walk in the truth. Not with the aggression of the flesh, but with the power of gentleness that comes from the Holy Spirit. When you choose to live in truth, you will be opposed. When you refuse to compromise, you will be misunderstood. But know this, I am not looking for those who are applauded by the crowd, but for those who are willing to obey me, where no one is watching. My child, in that obedience, you will discover a reward that nothing on earth can compare to. It is the rest that settles within your soul, the affirmation from heaven that you are in the right place at the right time for the right purpose. Not every day will be easy, but every day will carry eternal meaning when you walk with me. When you step into the place I've called you to, the entire spiritual atmosphere around you will shift. What once seemed locked will begin to unravel. Doors that appeared permanently shut will open on their own, not because you pushed them open, but because I, myself, opened them for you. You are the one who has been sent for this season, not someone else, not at a different time. It is you, and it is now. I have been sowing spiritual seeds within you over many seasons, and now they are preparing to rise, to break through the shell of the past, and to bring forth something entirely new. Do not hinder the blooming with doubt. Do not block the flow of grace with fear of failure. What I have placed inside you did not originate from you, and therefore cannot be lost by the limits of your ability. If you will simply remain surrendered, I will continue to move. My beloved child, this moment is unlike any moment you've experienced before. What is about to unfold cannot be measured by past experiences nor explained by the finite reasoning of man. That is why what I ask of you is not calculation, but spiritual preparation. Not plans packed with contingencies, but a heart softened in my presence. Not control over outcomes, but a willingness to yield to me completely. Imagine yourself as a traveler in the night, unable to see the road ahead with only a flicker of light from a lamp fueled by faith. You do not need to see the whole picture. You only need to see the next step, for I will guide you step by step, moment by moment through every path. It is when you cannot see that your faith matures, and it is when you feel empty that I can fill you completely. For what I am preparing for you cannot be contained in old vessels. Your soul must be renewed to receive the new wine from eternity. I am not merely preparing something good for you. I am preparing you for something good. Because if the miracle arrives before you are ready to hold it, it may become a burden rather than a blessing. And that is why I wait, why I refine, why I adjust. Not to punish you, but to protect you. Just as a father does not place a blade into the hands of a child no matter how much the child pleads, I do not entrust great things into an unshaped soul. But child, now, I see something rising within you, a quiet yet powerful maturity. And because of that, I know this, you are nearing your appointed day. You will begin to see the signs not with physical eyes, but through spiritual movements, unusual shifts within your soul, vivid dreams, and a clear sensing that something immense is drawing near. These signs do not come to frighten you, but to awaken you. When the rain is about to fall, the air changes, and when glory is about to be revealed, the soul is stirred. Listen to the echo in the deepest chambers of your spirit where I am gently whispering, prepare yourself. My child, what you are about to witness will surpass what words can describe. There will be doors that seemed locked for years opening silently. There will be relationships restored without conversation. There will be provision flowing from nameless places and rescue arising from situations that once seemed beyond redemption. But in order to receive these things, you must be in position not merely physically, but spiritually. Your position must not be a place of hesitation, doubt, or self-protection. Your position must be one of worship, of prayer, of trust, even when everything remains unclear. My beloved child, the world will continue to tremble. Foundations once deemed unshakable will begin to crack. Systems that once fueled human pride will collapse. But in the midst of all this shaking, those who stand upon my word will not be moved. You will witness people running in search of shelter, but I say to you, you are the shelter of light. When you stand firm in me, many will find their way through your presence. Your rest will be a sign to panic-stricken souls that I am near. And the peace you carry, one that surpasses understanding, will become a living testimony of the unshakable kingdom to which you belong. Yet, my child, for this to unfold, you must guard your mind. Flaming arrows of doubt will be hurled your way. Lies dressed in the garments of worldly wisdom will knock at the door of your heart. But I have armed you with a spiritual weapon that no force can pierce: truth. Truth is not birthed in feelings. It is found in the word I have spoken. And when you cling to that truth, no power of hell can make you fall. You will stand not by your own strength, but by the power of the one who lives within you. My precious one, this is no longer a time for hesitation or delay. It is time to align your heart, to cleanse the altar within, and prepare the soil for the seeds of heaven to be planted. No one else can do this on your behalf. No one else can live the portion of faith I have assigned to you. And no one else will receive the spiritual reward that has your name inscribed upon it. Therefore, do not look around to compare. Look up to perceive. You are the one chosen. You are the one I have sent for this season. And you will witness my faithfulness displayed before your very eyes in ways you have never imagined. Child, it is time you realize that what is happening around you is not merely a string of natural events, but the manifestation of a spiritual shift that was initiated in the realm of eternity. What is unfolding is not random. I am not merely watching, I am moving. Nothing happens outside my permission. And even in this very moment, as you read these words, I am unveiling my divine intervention, not through metaphors or symbols, but through tangible acts that will shake the very core of your life. This intervention will not arrive with loudness. It will not come like a storm shaking everything in its path. It will come like a gentle wind passing through your soul, steady, subtle, yet utterly undeniable. I do not need to make a spectacle to reveal my power. My presence alone can move mountains. And when I step into a situation, every force, both physical and spiritual, must bow. Perhaps you thought I had forgotten you. In truth, I was waiting for the perfect moment to display my omnipotence. And that moment is closer than you think. In the coming days, you will begin to see subtle yet undeniable signs. What once seemed coincidental will reveal divine intention. Unexpected encounters will carry answers to your most hidden prayers. Doors that were long sealed shut will swing open without a logical explanation. This is not luck. This is divine intervention. This is my fingerprint in every detail, the evidence that you are stepping into a new chapter 1, where you no longer walk by your own strength but are carried by the power of grace. I have heard your midnight whispers. I have seen you standing on the edge of despair while still whispering praise. You thought no one noticed those moments. But the heavens have recorded each one, because every time you chose faith over doubt, you offered me a sacrifice more precious than any other, a living faith. Not the kind birthed in miracles, but the kind sustained in silence, in the unseen, in the unanswered places. And it is this kind of faith that shakes the heavens. My beloved child, your faithfulness has not been forgotten. There are promises I gave you long ago that may appear to have been set aside, but in truth they are being nurtured in silence. Like seeds lying dormant beneath the soil, seemingly lifeless, yet secretly growing with every passing moment, so too are the promises I planted within you. And when the appointed time comes, nothing will be able to stop their emergence. What I have spoken, I will fulfill. For I am the keeper of promises, and I do not utter a single word in vain. Do not be discouraged by your limitations. You were not chosen because you were flawless, but because your heart is tender. You were chosen not because you always stood tall, but because when others turned away, you kept looking to me. You were chosen not because you never stumbled, but because you kept coming back. That my child is the mark of one who carries divine courage, not the absence of fear, but the decision to trust even while fear still lingers. I do not need you to be stronger than others. I need you to be more surrendered, because it is in surrender that my power is fully revealed. Now prepare your heart to receive the confirmation you've longed for. I am about to do something that will silence every doubt, not to prove anything to the world, but to strengthen your faith. What you are about to walk into in this new chapter will require a resilience forged in the fires of tested belief. You are no longer in the beginning stage. You are standing at the threshold of a journey whose impact will stretch far beyond yourself. The decisions you make from here will ripple through generations I've entrusted into your care. So you must know this beyond any uncertainty: I am with you, my beloved one. The clearest sign will not come from the outside, but from within you. You will begin to notice a change in the way you perceive things. The fears that once paralyzed you will lose their grip. The worries that tormented your mind will dissolve like morning mist, not because your circumstances suddenly shift, but because you have changed. When your heart is transformed, the world around you will begin to align in a new direction. This is my work within you, deep, steady, and untouchable by human hands. And when I begin a deep work within your soul, I call you to partner with that process wholeheartedly. The supernatural intervention you've been waiting for is not merely something that will appear externally, but something that begins with an inner transformation of your very spirit. This is not a journey to become like others, or to fit into a moral framework you've imagined. This is a journey of returning to your truest self, the version of you I envisioned when I formed you before the foundations of the world. No miracle can endure without a corresponding transformation at the core. I do not just want to change the circumstances around you. I want to reshape your heart so that it can sustain the blessing I am about to pour out. What I'm about to do is not merely an answer to your prayers, but a public display of my kingdom through your very life. You will no longer live merely for yourself. You will become a reflection of heavenly light in a world that is struggling through the shadows. And my child, to walk in this calling, you must understand no one is overlooked by me, but not everyone is willing to walk through my process. I do not coerce, but I wait. I do not control, but I invite. And I see within your heart a willingness that is quietly growing, a silent yet fierce trembling, a yes that doesn't need to be spoken aloud. You do not need to shout for me to hear you. It is in your quiet surrender, your resilient endurance, and your unwavering gaze toward me, amidst the questions, that is the loudest declaration in the spiritual realm. You once asked, "Why does every change begin with pain?" And now I show you pain is not the end. It is the bell that rings to announce a new birthing. You are not losing, you are being molded, not to become perfect by human standards, but to be made holy according to heaven's design. Every time you choose to release bitterness, every time you choose forgiveness, every time you choose to love instead of shutting down, you are stepping closer to the divine destiny that has been inscribed uniquely for you. My child, I repeat this so you may remember it well. You were never called to fight alone. What you are facing may be greater than your strength, but it will never exceed my power. I never assign a mission without providing the strength to fulfill it. If I have allowed the trial, it is because within you already lies what is needed to overcome. Not through talent, intellect, or strategy, but through my living presence within you, moment by moment, breath by breath. Beloved one, do not underestimate your value in the spiritual realm. Do not compare yourself to others, and forget that you carry a blueprint that is one of a kind. Comparison is a trap that blinds the soul and makes you forget the irreplaceable role I've given you. Every step you take in obedience creates a spiritual resonance that only you can release. Every intercession you make does not merely shift circumstances, it draws life into places of decay. When you sit in stillness yet remain in trust, heaven takes note. When you act in faith amid the unseen, the armies of heaven are set into motion. You are a bearer of sacred responsibility, not a burden, but a high and holy honor. You occupy a position no one else can fill. When you stand in your rightful place, I will place in your hands keys that unlock doors of deliverance, not just for yourself, but for those around you. Those drowning in doubt will be lifted by the light that shines from your life. Those who are bound will begin to sense freedom simply because your presence carries the atmosphere of heaven. I am building in you a steadfast foundation. What you are learning in this difficult season will become pillars for the greater mission that is coming. Do not think these days have been wasted. Not a single moment is lost in my hands. Every tear, every time you rise after falling, every decision to reject fear and choose trust. Instead, each one touches the unseen realm and is constructing a new reality that will soon come into view. My child, when the appointed time arrives, everything will align like pieces of a completed masterpiece. You will no longer wonder why you had to endure this or pass through that. Because in that very place you will see I missed nothing. Every detail was in my hand, every line shaped with love and wisdom. And in that moment you will lift your head not merely as a believer but as a witness. a witness to the faithfulness, the power, and the unshakable beauty of the one who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. My beloved, when I look into your soul, I see more than just the present moment you are living. I see eternity awaiting you. I see depths within you yet to be awakened, rivers of spiritual flow, yet to be released, treasures hidden within, waiting for their appointed unveiling. And now I declare to you that day is drawing near. A new establishment is being finalized in the unseen realm, and you are at the very center of it, not as a spectator, but as one who is commissioned, bearing both the responsibility and the authority of heaven. You are no longer merely a seeker of miracles. You are the vessel through which miracles happen. I am repositioning you, placing you in a realm where your words carry the weight of heaven. When you pray, it is no longer just a cry for help, but a declaration infused with authority. When you walk, it is not just a physical step, but a shift in the spiritual atmosphere, one that causes invisible chains to break. You are not ordinary. You are chosen. And it is time for you to fully recognize that calling, not in pride, but in complete surrender. I did not call you to greatness by the standards of this world. I called you to holiness by the standards of heaven. The greatness I've appointed for you is not found in fame, but in spiritual influence. A person may live quietly and still shake the heavens with their faithfulness, and you, my child, are such a one. What you do in the secret place is echoing in the Holy of Holies, and I have not overlooked a single thing. Your quiet perseverance has reached my throne. I know there are still questions in your heart. Lord, is what I'm doing really making a difference? Is anyone listening? Is anyone seeing? And I answer you now, I am watching, I am listening, and I am remembering every detail. Nothing you do out of love for me is ever in vain. Not a single drop of sweat shed in righteousness will go unrewarded. Not a single act done for the sake of truth will go unnoticed by heaven. You may not see it immediately, but your reward does not come from human hands. Your reward comes from me, and when I give, no one can hinder it. In the days ahead, you will witness a divine rearrangement. Old doors will begin to close, not because you've been disqualified, but because you are being invited into something greater. Do not mourn what I am removing. Trust that each door I shut is making room for a door that is larger, wider, and more fitting for the new stature I am building within you. You may not yet feel ready for the shift. You may still hesitate. But I am calling you to walk step by step in obedience, for each of your steps is being reinforced by my own power. My beloved, my glory does not come to decorate a peaceful life. It comes to transform, to establish, and to deliver. And that glory is about to be revealed through your very life. I have chosen you to be a conduit through which my light will shine, through which my healing will flow, through which my truth will be proclaimed. You do not have to strive to make an impact. All you need to do is remain in position aligned with heaven's frequency, and the light will spread on its own. When you are in me, you carry my presence without needing to prove anything. And that presence will shift the very atmosphere around you. I am about to turn what once stood against you into the very platform that lifts you up. The wounds that once brought you to your knees will become testimony to my unchanging mercy. The places where you once felt weakest will be the places where my power is most clearly displayed. That is how I work. I take what was rejected and make it the foundation. I use what was despised to perform wonders. And I reveal my unshakable kingdom through those the world has forgotten. You cannot measure the future by what has already passed. For I am doing a new thing, something unlike anything you have ever known. It does not follow the old patterns. It is not based on human experience. It is by my spirit and power, by the unveiling of eternal mercy. And you, my beloved, are being invited to step into the very center of this divine wave. Do not retreat. Do not doubt. Be courageous and move forward. For I go before you, I stand with you in the battle, and I am also the glorious ending that awaits you ahead. My beloved child, it is time for you to step beyond the old boundaries. It is time you no longer allow what once confined you to dictate the shape of your future. For you are no longer living in a season of waiting for miracles as if they were distant dreams. You are stepping into a moment where miracles become reality, not as unexpected rewards, but as a predetermined flow from the fountain of grace. I am revealing my glory not only in the days to come, but right in the midst of what you are experiencing now. The promised land is no longer a distant place in your imagination. It is unfolding beneath your very steps as you dare to walk forward with unshakable faith. I know there is still hesitation in your heart. You have grown accustomed to living within limitations. You have accepted circumstances as destiny. But my child, I did not create you merely to survive. I created you to overcome. I did not form you to adapt to your surroundings, but to transform them through the power I am pouring into you. Every limit you have encountered, emotional, mental, or material, has been permitted, so you may come face to face with the insufficiency of the flesh and learn to lean wholly on the strength that does not come from you but from the living. 1. In the days ahead you will feel a strange stirring deep within, as if your soul is being drawn by an irresistible force. That is not an illusion. It is the sacred call from me. I am beckoning you into a new season 1, where everything that was once delayed will be released, where everything that was once denied will be restored, and where dreams that seemed long dead will rise again like dry bones brought back to life. But for that to come to pass, you must step out of your comfort zone, break free from your old patterns of thought, and move beyond passive waiting into active faith. Child, you are not merely facing a door. You are standing before destiny. And this door will not be opened by human effort, but by spiritual courage. I am searching for those who dare to believe before they see, who dare to step when nothing is yet guaranteed, who dare to proclaim when all around them is still silent. And you are being called to become one of them. You will be the first in your lineage to break the old cycle, the one who dismantles invisible barriers that have stood for generations. You will be the pathfinder, the forerunner who prepares the way for a season of blessing never seen before. Do not be afraid when the enemy becomes more visible. Do not be shaken when the spiritual warfare intensifies. For it is precisely when the great door begins to open that the enemy will throw all his weight to keep you from entering. But know this, if the battle increases, it is because the destiny ahead is worth every struggle. And I will not leave you to fight alone. I have already dispatched heavenly hosts to guard you. I have placed a spiritual sword in your hand. I have trained your mind through the living word. Every bitter experience you once endured will now become a weapon in your hand to help lift others back to their feet. My child, what I am doing for you is not merely to elevate you. It is so that through you many others will see me. You are not just one who has been saved, you are a carrier of the message of deliverance. When you step into the new land, it will not only be your personal victory, it will be a triumph for the souls connected to the mission you carry. It will be the establishment of a new pattern in your family, in your community, and for the generations to come. For when I lift you up, I am also lifting the spiritual lineage that follows after you. Therefore, prepare your heart not to wait in silence, but to act under divine direction. Begin to pray as if the miracle has already arrived. Begin to praise as though the victory has already been declared. Begin to walk as if the promised land is already beneath your feet. For it is your trust that will call forth what is not yet into being. It is your faithfulness in the dark that will usher in a radiant dawn. And it is your decision in this very moment that will determine the dawning of a glorious new season I am about to pour out. My beloved child, as I begin to unveil the veil so you may see my plans more clearly, I am also inviting you into a deeper level of spiritual sensitivity. For there are moments in your life that cannot be understood through intellect or measured by human logic. They must be discerned by the Spirit. And now you are living in one of those moments, a time that must be felt with the heart, heard with spiritual ears, and walked out with sensitivity forged in prayer and surrender. Know this, not everyone recognizes the season they are living in. Many pass through sacred moments unaware, only to miss doors that were open for a fleeting moment. But I do not want that to happen to you. I love you too much to let you continue without clear guidance. Therefore, I am sharpening your discernment not to cause suspicion, but to give you the ability to perceive the genuine amid the counterfeit. Not to stir fear, but to grant you the ability to walk with spiritual eyes wide open and a mind anchored in the peace of the Holy Spirit. Soon you will begin to sense more clearly the warnings within. There will be things that appear harmless, yet the Holy Spirit in you will stir something, a gentle but resolute prompting. Do not ignore those whispers. Do not dismiss the seemingly minor signs. I do not speak through thunder every day. Sometimes I come through a gentle breeze, a moment of unease, or a dream that leaves your heart restless. And in all of these I am speaking to you, be ready. Do not let the noise of busyness rob you of the ability to hear. Do not let urgent needs distract you from what is most important. My child, a divine intervention is being prepared, and your cooperation is the condition for it to be fulfilled in its fullness. I do not work alone when I have chosen you. I desire to work through you. This means there will be moments when I ask you to stop, even when everything around you pushes you forward. There will be times I ask you to speak, even when silence seems wiser. There will be times I urge you to move, even when you have received no confirmation from man. But know this, every time you obey, you are aligning yourself with a plan far beyond your understanding. My beloved one, in this divine partnership, I will teach you what it means to walk in the anointing rather than striving in the flesh. When you are in the place I've appointed, the things you once wrestled to accomplish will begin to flow with ease, not because you have become better, but because I am now moving through you. You will witness growth that does not come from working harder, but from drawing closer. And when you are near, you will understand my heart. And when you understand my heart, you will know when to wait, when to step forward, when to speak, and when to remain silent. My child, the world is moving faster, louder, and more chaotically than ever. But you do not belong to that rhythm. You have been called to live according to the rhythm of heaven, a rhythm that is neither rushed nor chaotic, but one that carries authority and is perfectly timed. When I say now, you must be ready. When I say wait, you must obey. For even the right decision made at the wrong time can bring consequences. Yet a small action taken at the appointed moment can unleash a chain of wonders that no one can stop. My child, I know that in the waiting your heart can grow weary. In the long stretches of prayer without visible results, you may begin to feel confused. I understand. And because I understand, I am granting you a special grace in this season, a grace to endure without bitterness, to remain silent, and still believe, to continue loving, even when change has not yet come, not by your strength, but by mine in you. And this grace will sustain you until the time I have ordained bursts forth like dawn, shattering the final remnants of night. Beloved one, I never speak a word without the intention to fulfill it. And if I have promised you something, it is surely coming to pass, perhaps slower than your standard, but always on time according to mine. Do not fix your eyes on your own clock. Look into my heart instead. For the timing I choose always carries protection, endurance, and blessings that no one can steal. Your waiting is not in vain. It is thickening the foundation of your faith, deepening your trust, and shaping your soul in the likeness of eternity. My dear child, as I begin to pull back the veil so you can see more clearly the blueprint of my will, I am also calling you into a higher level of spiritual sensitivity. There are moments in life that cannot be understood by logic or measured by reason. They must be discerned by the Spirit. And right now you are living in such a moment, a divine window of time that must be perceived with your heart, heard with spiritual ears, and responded to with a sensitivity sharpened through prayer and surrender. My child, not everyone recognizes the season they are in. Many walk through sacred times without knowing it, only to miss doors that open for but a moment. But I do not want that for you. I love you too much to let you continue without clear guidance. That is why I am increasing your discernment, not to lead you into suspicion, but to give you eyes to see truth among many near truths. Not to stir fear, but to empower you to walk with spiritual eyes wide open and a mind anchored in the peace of the Holy Spirit. You will soon begin to sense the warnings within your spirit more clearly. There will be things that seem harmless, but the Holy Spirit within you will stir gently, firmly alerting you. Do not dismiss those whispers. Do not overlook the seemingly minor signs. I do not thunder from the skies every day. Sometimes I come in the gentle breeze, in a quiet unease, or in a dream that leaves your heart unsettled. And in all of these I am speaking to you, be ready. Do not let the noise of busyness rob you of your ability to listen. Do not let the urgency of demands cause you to overlook what matters most. My child, an intervention is being prepared, and your cooperation is the condition for it to be fulfilled completely. I do not act alone when I have chosen you. I desire to act through you. That means there will be moments when I ask you to stop, even though everything around you urges you to move forward. There will be times when I tell you to speak, even when silence seems like the wiser choice. There will be times I ask you to step out, even when you receive no human confirmation. But know this, each act of obedience is a divine collaboration with a plan far greater than your understanding. My beloved child, in this partnership, I will teach you what it means to walk in the anointing, rather than striving in the flesh. When you are positioned exactly where I've placed you, the things you once struggled to accomplish will begin to flow with ease. Not because you have become more skilled, but because I am moving through you. You will begin to see that growth does not come from trying harder, but from staying closer to me. And as you remain close, you will understand my heart. When you understand my heart, you will know when to wait, when to move, when to speak, and when to be silent. My child, the world is becoming faster, noisier, and more chaotic, but you do not belong to that rhythm. You have been called to live in the cadence of heaven, one that is unhurried, unshaken, full of authority, and precisely timed. When I say now, you must be ready. When I say wait, you must obey. For even a right decision at the wrong time can lead to consequences. But even the smallest act done in the right moment can unlock a chain of miracles that no one can hinder. Beloved, I also know that in the waiting, your heart can grow weary. In the prolonged prayers with no visible answer, you may feel uncertain. I understand. And because I understand, I am bestowing upon you a special grace in this season, the grace to endure without bitterness, to remain silent, yet still believe, to continue loving, even when change has not yet come. Not by your own strength, but by my strength within you. And that grace will keep you standing until the appointed time arrives, like the dawn breaking through the final shadows of night. My precious child, I never speak a word without the intention to fulfill it. And if I have made a promise to you, it is on its way. It may seem delayed by your standards, but it is always on time by mine. Do not look to your own clock, look to my heart. For the timing I choose always carries protection, endurance, and blessings that no one can steal. Your waiting is not in vain. It is thickening the foundation of your faith, deepening your trust, and shaping your soul into the likeness of the eternal. Now, my child, take this word as a sacred directive for the days ahead. Do not rush, do not fear. Walk with sensitivity, with peace, and with ears that listen closely, for I am moving. Not far away, but right here, in you, through you, and for you. Know this, the moment you have waited for so long is now right before your eyes. No longer just a distant vision whispered in dreams, soaked in tears, but a reality approaching with every beat of spiritual time. You have traveled a long road, and perhaps you have not realized how many layers of trial you've overcome, how many storms weathered, how many nights endured that seemed to stretch endlessly, but I have seen it all. And it was I who held your hand through every step, every breath, guiding you through the dark until the place of light began to shine. My dear one, you are no longer in the posture of waiting. You are now standing in the place of the anointed finisher. The season of preparation is no longer a coming promise, it has been sealed into your very soul. The lessons learned in silence have become sharp weapons. Every time you chose forgiveness when you had a right to resent, every time you chose silence when you had the opportunity to defend yourself, every time you stood firm in loneliness rather than settling for shallow acceptance, these have become the foundation for the mission I am about to unveil through your life. You were anointed not to live a comfortable life, but to shake the heavens. You were anointed not to stand out in the crowd, but to carry my glory in the midst of a lost generation. Within you carries the sound of life, not a voice of condemnation, but a powerful invitation. Return, my child, I have trained you in the hidden place, so that you would not be overwhelmed by the light. I have taught you how to listen in silence, so that when you speak, every word you release will carry the weight of heaven, words that shake, words that heal. Now the heavens are opening. I am commanding the gates of delay to collapse. What once stood in your way, whether physical or spiritual, is now being pushed back by the decree from my throne. Not because you begged, but because the time has come. Not because you are strong, but because I have chosen this moment to reveal my faithfulness. What I engraved upon your soul in past seasons is now rising like a flame being stirred, and that flame will not be extinguished. It does not come from emotion, it comes from truth. And the truth is this: you are chosen to fulfill something that no one else can fulfill in your place. You may have doubted, you may have grown weary, you may have felt small. But there is no such thing as insignificance in my kingdom. Even when you were just a seed, I saw a garden. Even when you were but a whispered prayer in the night, I heard thunder roaring in the unseen realm. And even when you were merely one searching for a way out, I already knew you would become the one who makes a way. Not by your own strength, but by my strength in you. Not by shouting, but by deep and complete surrender. My dear child, I want you to know this with absolute certainty. The anointing is not merely the emotion you once felt in worship. It is not just the tear you shed in prayer. The anointing is an invisible but undeniable seal. It causes you to walk differently, to see what others cannot see, to sense what others overlook. And that is why you have felt out of place, because your soul has been called out from the crowd, not to be set apart in pride, but to preserve the purity of a flow led by the Holy Spirit. My child, I am not asking you to do something great immediately. I am asking you to keep going. Every step you take now is forming a path, not just for yourself, but for those quietly watching you, for the souls who are yearning for a glimpse of hope. When they see you not giving up, they will have a reason to rise. When they see you choosing to love in the midst of hurt, they will know that truth still exists. When they see you walking in peace, while everything around you is in chaos, they will realize that I am still moving. For this reason, continue walking, not in fear, but in gratitude, not under pressure to prove anything, but in the unwavering confidence that you are being led by the very hand of the Almighty. That hand will never let go. It will carry you across great rivers, push back the seas, calm the storm, and lift you up in the midst of every trial. Always remember, I am the one who chose you, the one who anointed you, and the one who will bring you to the final destination where unshakable glory is waiting for you to enter. My beloved child, you are no longer bound by old definitions. The labels once placed upon you by others, too weak, too slow, too ordinary, have fallen away like an ill-fitting garment. I have stripped off what does not belong to you, and I am clothing you with a new identity, anointed, chosen, established. You no longer need to prove who you are, for I am the one who confirms you, and my affirmation is stronger than every rejection you have ever endured. Do not let the memories of past failures pull you back into the land of fear. Do not allow the voices of yesterday, whether they came from those closest to you or from within yourself, to drown out the voice that now echoes from heaven. You are the one I have chosen. My child, I did not choose you because you never stumbled. I chose you because after every fall you rose again. I have seen in you a heart that refuses to yield. That is the kind of heart I can use to shake a generation. My child, every time you guard your heart from bitterness, it is a victory in the spirit realm. Every time you choose love over retaliation, heaven takes note. And every time you place me above your human emotions, I mark it as a sacred moment. You do not realize that these quiet decisions are forming a current of power that will soon swell into a mighty wave, bringing restoration to souls who are worn and weary. Your silent obedience today is the seed of tomorrow's spiritual awakening. You no longer need to question whether you are on the right path. From the very moment you chose to trust me over your circumstances, to pray, instead of complain, to worship through your tears, I marked your path with light from my throne. Sometimes that light is just enough for the next step, but it has never gone out. And because you kept walking at times with only mustard seed faith, you have moved mountains within your soul you didn't even know were there. My child, you are no longer one who is pushed by circumstances. You are one who is led by the Spirit. This changes everything. It changes how you respond, how you think, and how you decide. When you live under my guidance, you will find yourself freed from the invisible grip of emotions, judgment, and the expectations of others. You will begin to live in true freedom, not freedom to follow your own way, but freedom to live fully aligned with what I have destined for you since the foundation of the world. My precious one, you will come to see what once felt heavy will feel light, not because the weight changed, but because you have been transformed. You will find yourself no longer reacting from instinct, but responding by the Spirit. In moments when others are shaken, you will stand in unshakable peace. When others demand evidence, you will walk in trust. And when unexpected doors open before you, you will not be surprised. For deep in your spirit you have known I have already made the way ready. My child, you will not need to knock on doors, for which I have already handed you the keys. You will not need to beg for what has already been granted to you. The time has come for you to step into divine affirmation, not with arrogance, but with deep gratitude, not with entitlement, but with holy boldness. For this boldness does not come from believing you are worthy, but from knowing I am faithful. And that boldness will unlock new territories for you both in your soul and in your reality. My child, live with the confident assurance that you are standing in the right moment. Even if what your eyes perceive appears incomplete, what is spiritual has already been fulfilled. You are no longer searching for my will, you are walking in it. And that is the safest, most steadfast, and most glorious place you could ever be. Hold your ground. Do not walk away, do not doubt, do not retreat, for the unveiling is near. And when it comes, everything you've endured will become light, reflecting my glory through your very life. My beloved child, this is not the conclusion of a story. It is the full beginning in the radiant glory I appointed for you before time began. What I promised I have accomplished. What you waited for with tears will now blossom into songs of praise. Every wound you carried, every moment you held on to faith when you were left behind, every prayer that seemed to echo into nothingness, all of it has been gathered, treasured, and now returned to you in an endless, unbroken flow of grace. Lacking nothing, delayed no longer. My child, you have walked through the door. You are no longer the one waiting for miracles. You are one who lives within miracles. You are no longer searching for light. You are carrying the light. You no longer live as one who must prove your worth, but as one who has been affirmed, chosen, and now established. My promises never fall to the ground in vain. You are living proof of that. Every season of waiting, every hidden refinement, every unseen perseverance has now become a crown that no one can remove from your head. My child, you were not just rescued from darkness, you were placed into glory. I did not merely deliver you from the prison of the soul. I have spread before you an entire kingdom where you are not only healed but entrusted with authority, not just to live for yourself, but to become a vessel of hope in the midst of despair, a bearer of life in desolate places, and a messenger of eternal love to souls who have forgotten the way home. You are assigned to this generation, a blazing torch in my hand, amidst a wandering world. My child, you will see the things you once thought were limits were merely the canvas upon which I painted the extraordinary. The doors once closed are no longer barriers, because now you do not live by opportunity but by divine appointment. You no longer need to fight for a place, for I've prepared a table for you in the presence of your enemies. You don't need to clamor for a voice, for I have placed my words in your mouth. And when you speak, people will listen not because of volume, but because of the divine authority that flows from the depths of your obedience. Now hear this. My child, the days ahead are not rewards, they are the continuation. Not a glorious end to one season, but the first chapter of a wholly new one. In it you will no longer walk with the hesitant steps of an apprentice, but with the firm stride of one who is sent. I do not send you alone, I go before you. I walk with you, and I come behind you to protect you. Nothing will come to pass outside of my covering. You no longer dwell in uncertain territory. You live in a realm established by the blood of my covenant. There will be those who ask, what has changed in you? And you will not need to explain with arguments. Your eyes, your posture, the deep, unshakable peace within you will speak for themselves. You do not need to defend yourself. My presence in you will be the living testimony that here is one who walked through the fire and was not consumed, who passed through the waters and did not drown, who journeyed through darkness and did not lose the light. And when they come near to you, they will sense me not by persuasive words, but by the living current of the Eternal One who now dwells within you. My child, do not turn back. Do not doubt. Do not question again what I have already confirmed. Live as one who has been redeemed. Love as one who has been perfectly loved. Walk as one who has been empowered. And remember this, there is no weakness in you that can overthrow the plans I have ordained. When you stumble, I will lift you. When you are weary, I will rest beside you. When you feel alone, I will whisper into the depths of your heart words only you can hear. I am here. I have never left, and I will never forsake you. My beloved one, now you are entering the season of fruitfulness. This is no longer the time of sowing with tears, but of reaping with songs of joy. No longer the silence of isolation, but the resounding echo of divine affirmation. No longer the heavy darkness, but an everlasting light that never fades. You are living in what many long to see, but never did. And I have chosen you to experience it, not so you may boast, but so you may testify to my unchanging faithfulness. And child, when the day comes that you tell the story of your life, let it not be from the voice of a victim, but from the song of a victor. And be sure to declare this: I am the one who did it all. I am the one who loved you before you knew how to love yourself. I am the one who called you by name when the world still labeled you by its lies. I am the one who rewrote your destiny with blood, with fire, and with eternal love. My dear child, I am here always, unmoving, unchanging. Right now, know this: you are stepping into fullness, not merely to survive, but to live in abundance. Not only to believe, but to behold. Not simply to receive, but to give. Not just to begin, but to finish in me. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive the living word together. Build an unshakable faith and walk in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.